Friends, this video is especially providing the solution to a couple of errors which were posted on my course blog related to deploying your RESTful Java web service on the Glassfish server. While deploying the RESTful Java web service application on the Glassfish server, either server 4.0 or 4.1, a few of the students had encountered runtime exceptions. Um, So I believe some of you had encountered this exception, Java line.runtime exception invalid resource JDBC/portfolio. The portfolio name could be your own, but a similar kind of error had been encountered by all of you while deploying your RESTful web service on the Glassfish server. I'm going to show you a three-step solution. Step one, friends, go to your project and suppose I'm working with NS University Web App. You can have your own project open. Underneath that we have server resources. If you see the server resources folder, it's empty. It means your glassfish resources.xml file does not exist. It is required while you deploy your application onto the glassfish server. So in order to create this glassfish resources.xml, uh, we are going to go through step number one. So what is this Glassfish resources about? Uh, these resources are your data source, your JDBC data source, and your connection pool. You need to create this JDBC data source and the connection pool and bind it with the database connection, which is already binded to your MySQL server, correct? So I'm going to show you the first step, how to add this Glassfish resources.xml file to your RESTful Java Web Service application. Select your project, right click, select new, select other, and in the categories panel, scroll down, select the Glassfish. In the file types panel, select JDBC resource and click next. On this dialog box, it says general attributes. Select the radio button which says create new JDBC connection pool, and in the text box, JNDI name text box, give a appropriate name. I'm going to say JDBC/portfolio 3, and rest of the properties remains the same. Click next. Additional properties, no, we are not going to add any. Click next. Choose database connection. Yes, we have to give a proper JDBC connection pool name. I'm going to call it as portfolio connection pool. Then there's a radio button which says extract from existing connection. Click on the drop down box, and there are several database connection. In your case, there could be only one, right? So the point is you have to select the appropriate database connection, the connection which links your application to the MySQL server, your database. I think out of these three, my database connection is student portfolio. So I select the correct one and then click next. So here it says add connection pool properties. Don't make any changes on this. Keep the default. Click next. Then it says specify optional properties for connection pool. Also don't make any changes here. Finish the job. Your Glassfish resources.xml is added, friends. Click upon it. In server resources folder, there is Glassfish resources.xml. Of course, you have to be in project tab. Under your project, there is server resources, and under server resource in server resources folder, your Glassfish resources.xml now created. When you click upon it, it opens here, and always copy, always remember this name, this JNDI name. Our JNDI name is for the JDBC resource. Our JNDI name is JDBC/portfolio 3. We are going to use this in step 2. Okay, perfect. So now, after we created the Glassfish resource, now we need to modify our step 2. We need to modify our persistent.xml file. Click upon persistent.xml file, and it's going to take a little bit of a time to open it. Click persistent. don't know what's it doing. It's still not opening. Okay. So, okay, the persistent.xml is open now. In that, if you can see in the general tab, expand your general tab in persistent.xml, expand general tab, and there is a text source called data source. In this data source, we have to select our correct data source. If you remember, I told you in step 1, remember the JNDI name. We have to select the correct JNDI name here, friends. So let's select data source. Underneath data source, click upon the drop down and find your correct JNDI name here. Data source name is JDBC/portfolio3. If you remember, we had given this same JNDI name for our JDBC resource, correct? We are going to select this here now, JDBC/portfolio3. So remember this very clearly. Select the correct data source in persistent unit. After selecting the correct data source in persistent unit, your persistent.xml is correctly modified. You just click upon the save button in the top menu bar and your application is saved. So very simple. Let's now build our application. Click upon your project, right click, build, and it says clean and build. Select clean and build. Select your output window and see the build operation, correct? The build process should be successful. If it is successful, yeah, it's still working on it. Okay, it's successful now. Now we go to back to services tab here. Services tab on the left hand side in your panel, there's services. Right click your Glassfish server, expand your Glassfish server under resources, JDBC resources, connection pool. Okay, they are not there. We right click our server and restart it. Correct, our Glassfish server. If you are working with Glassfish server 4.1, then you have to restart Glassfish server 4.1. I am working with Glassfish server 4.0, so I am restarting Glassfish server 4.0. Right, so my Glassfish server is going to restart. I again select my project tab, correct, and I can right click upon my project tab, and now I'm going to deploy it. So just select deploy, and now my application is going to be deployed on the Glassfish server. So let's see if the application successfully deploys here. Then it means our problem is resolved. Very simple. Okay, it will take some few seconds. Okay, still we have a problem. So let's again go to services. As I told you again, uh, services, resources, JDBC. Okay, let me check a few things. Portfolio is created. Correct. Let's again select project, right click, build it, clean and build. And once it is clean and built, we are after that going to again right click and deploy our project onto the Glassfish server. If the project is successfully deployed on Glassfish server, we need to wait and see. Still, let's keep our fingers crossed and let's see if it works. No, it still did not work. It means let's again, doesn't matter. Let's again check the stack trace. Okay, no problem. We again go to services. In your case, if it is successfully deployed, then it's fine. In my case, I'm going to stop this, right? And I'm going to go to project. I'm again going to right click and deploy it. So let's see if it deploys correctly. Okay. So I'm just again deploying the application, right? I'm going to wait for the report here. If it is deployed successfully, it's going to show me the result. Okay, let's wait for it. Perfect. So what I just did, I just stopped my Glassfish server and then I deployed my application. And yes, the application is successfully deployed. I think we have resolved the problem. Thank you, friends. If you still have any queries, post your questions on the course blog underneath this video, because I had only shown you one scenario, correct? And for one scenario where this error can be popped up, and I have shown you so one particular solution only. However, for there can be multiple different scenarios in which the same error can pop up, and there can be different solution for it. So if you're able to solve your problem, then okay. If not, then again revert back to me.